Rivian let a bunch of YouTubers test out the R2. Um, how many reviews did you end up watching?
I watched 3 different videos on it.
Okay.
All 3
I watched 2.
reviewers 2?
Yeah.
Yeah, all the reviews that I saw seemed very positive about the product. They love the ride, they love the smoothness. In one case, they had it off-roading, and it was a very capable off-road vehicle. They kind of sort of like called it Jeep meets something. No, Jeep meets I forget what the other. It's like a marriage between like a Jeep from an off-road perspective with a normal vehicle, but uh, all indications seem to be very, very positive for the Rivian R2, and this is going to be an exciting vehicle. The price seems to be right, roughly 5,000 more expensive than a Model Y. I suspect, they're going to start from 45 and go all the way to 65, whereas basically the Model Y starts from 40 and goes to just shy of 60. So for an extra $5,000, if you can get an off-road vehicle that is sexier looking, in my opinion, than the egg-shaped Model Y, I think it's going to be a huge hit. I think they're going to sell every single uh, Rivian R2 that they can possibly make in 2026, 2027, and possibly 2028. It's going to probably be a while before they can meet the demand for these vehicles. In Just to put it in perspective, the Model Y just in the U.S. alone sells over 350,000 units, right? So if you figure that the demand for the R2 would be roughly in the same neighborhood, well, these guys can't even make 200,000 units until even after they max out their scaling, which won't even happen until well into 2027. Until 2028, they won't be able to make more than 200,000 units per year. So that's a really good sign that they'll be able to sell every unit that they can make. And because of that manufacturing constraint, they might actually be able to sell them for slightly higher than like the $45,000 trim. They might not even offer the $45,000 trim for a couple of years.
Yeah, I agree. The reviews were extremely positive. I was impressed by how many features they kept compared to the R1. Like I thought they were going to cut more.
Yeah.
Like it's almost I want to know a breakdown of what they actually did cut because the biggest thing to me was like the air suspension, which isn't the biggest deal in the world for a
Yeah. Oh, we hold on. I think you got muted
muted.
accidentally. I don't know
Weird.
how that happened, but yeah, the air suspension was cut. What did you say? What was the other thing you said after that?
I said the air suspension. That like the air suspension being cut for a starting price $45,000 vehicle is not the biggest deal in the world.
Oh, right, right. I mean, I'm sure that the air suspension adds quite a bit of expense. The battery unit is obviously smaller because it's a much smaller vehicle. So there's savings there. There's a lot of part consolidation that is happening in the R2. So that cuts costs a lot. And then they've been now at it for 10 years trying to build these vehicles. So they've taken all of that experience to consolidate as many parts as they can. So um, I suspect the R2's cost are pretty substantially less than the R1, as they had been saying too, by the way. So it's not just my suspicions, but
Right. And like
but yeah, they've been saying
I
that.
forget what the stat is, but they like reduced the amount of wires in the car by like X many miles or something. Have you seen that?
Yeah, yeah.
Crazy.
Here's a question about if the R2 model with premium features is priced at 60K, would there be a lot of takers for that price?
Yeah, I mean, you could imagine that there would be, at least as many takers as the 60K version of the Model Y, right? And because there's sort of like pent up demand, a lot of people who maybe their budget was like in the 50s. They might be like, well, this is what is available and I can get now, as opposed to waiting it out another 6 months or a year before they have lower cost versions. They might pull the trigger. So would the demand be just as high? The answer is no. But in 2026, they're only probably going to sell around 30,000 of these things. Plus their R1 and R1 line and their electric vans. So, can they sell 30,000 at $60,000 a piece? Probably. That would be my guess. If I had to guess, I would think that they can probably sell more than 30,000 at 60,000 a piece.
Yeah, another thing to note is like I think the starting price of the R1S is around $75,000. So
Right.
for
And the
$15,000,
average
what were you
is
gonna say?
even higher. It's like 90, but
Right, yeah. So like for a $15,000 savings to have the most premium R2 could be very compelling. Obviously, we don't know exactly how those trims are going to compare. And then to your point, Hamid, I think roughly the average trim or the average price of a R1S is 30% more than the starting price. So that would kind of bring the R2 average sale price to be around like $54, something around there. So, or $54,000, I should say.
right,
Uh,
right.
so, 54,000 being the average, being six K less than this 60K figure. Like, I think it's going to get a decent amount of sales. Hard to say
Yeah.
exactly how many.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty reasonable for the average sale of a vehicle that starts at price X dollars for the average sale to be X plus, 15, 20%. And then the high trims usually go well beyond that. And then they sell obviously some of the lower end trims, but the average price is going to be well over 45. So
Yeah.